So I want to dig into one little piece of this, and then we're going to move to a different topic. I just want to ask Vic, how do you get your ideas for content? Do you have any tips on getting ideas?
Sure, I mean, it's what we do. So I appreciate
I thought you might have
the
some
layup.
ideas.
The layup. It's not a gotcha question at all. So in the handouts, for those of us who are in the room, you have a copy of what we call the blog Brainstormer. For those who are live streaming or watching the recording, you can essentially go to blogbrainstormer.com, and it's an actual tool that we use with our clients to come up with article ideas. Now, some of it may skew a little bit to those who run their own practices, because that's our clientele, but you could definitely adapt it for your purposes. And it's kind of broken up into 4 sections. Your knowledge nuggets are your nuggets of knowledge, right? It's your expertise. Then you have questions that we call client Q&A, but they could be Q&A from your industry, Q&A from superiors, it could be Q&A from the marketplace. Think of it as kind of the frequently asked questions that people are asking or supposed to or ought to ask, or maybe never asking, but they should be asking. Then you have a section that I love the most, which is what I call the green section. It's the cross-promotion section. The more you're able to involve others in your content, the better. As you can imagine, if you can quote someone else, link to them, interview them, even co-author with them, they're going to be that much more encouraged to share that piece with their circle of influence, thus bringing you to a whole new audience. So while it can be a little bit more effort of figuring out who you should be quoting, etc., it's not that much effort in terms of figuring out your inner circle, but it's tremendous in terms of getting into their circle of influence. And you can interview influencers, interview celebrities, if you will, of the field. And it's a great way of nurturing relationships with those you don't quite know very well, but would be very honored to be part of your article. And then over a period of time, even co-author with them. And essentially, you're hitching your name upon their rising stardom. So it's a great way of coming up with article ideas. The 4th section peels the onion layer into literally who you are and why you do what you do. It's your personal articles of why you're in this profession. That might be a very interesting story that people would want to understand, especially if you do have an interesting story. So you could use a blog Brainstormer to understand and to prompt yourself. It's a great thing to do as a team. So if you have 1 or 2 colleagues, to kind of have a buddy system, and it's a great way of brainstorming article ideas that way. And it's always good to have kind of a long path as well. Think of it as kind of a year, and each month having a theme. They're usually cyclical, seasonal topics, and you can take a look at this timely topics right on top of blogbrainstormer.com.